I turn the self-defense argument, do I win?
Sure, there are two ways to beat the NC. Either A, you demonstrate another universalizable mechanism. For example, I use self-defense. You could show another one and say sanctions violate that one, in which case we would weigh the nature of those violations. Or B, you show that sanctions are not an exercise of self-defense.
Do either one of those serve as offense for me? I'm asking, can I...
Either one of those would be sufficient for you to be able to win.
Offense?
Either one is sufficient for you to be able to win. Yeah, on the NC framework. And that is the primary framework as of right now.
Continuation of modern smart sanctions to maintain and expand sanctions on the NC. Okay. Explain to me the arguments that you're making on the AC as to why my concept of not using things is universalizable or whatever.
Universalizable.
Wait, what?
Why am I not providing a universal maximum in the AC?
Because, I mean, I'm setting up the meta-ethical framework. You can make claims in the next speech.
Like, I don't understand how
you
we're both looking at deontology.
No, there's a difference between looking at
let me finish my
deontology.
question. If we are both talking about deontology, why is somehow your deontological justification like higher than mine?
Why do you assume that Kant talks about deontology? For example, Comiskey uses Kant to justify consequentialism. Kant provides a meta-ethical framework. Your framework is treating people as ends in and of themselves. You need to justify that as universalizable. Otherwise, I could have read Comiskey cards that would have been the exact opposite of your standard. That's why they're different.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Your standard can be a conclusion of Kant, but it's not the same level as Kant. Kant would be justifying whether your standard is legitimate.
I still don't understand the difference.
Okay, have you heard the Comiskey cards ever read?
Yes, I have.
You've run the Comiskey cards, right?
Yeah.
What does Comiskey say?
I don't.
What is
Okay,
the
stop
entire
asking
Comiskey
me
article
questions.
about?
Stop asking me questions. I want to know why my evidence on the AC, like I can't weigh the rights violations that are going on in my world versus yours. Like, why can't I say there is a deontological violation that's going on my side of the flow that is infringing on a negative right that is more important than what the NC is talking about?
A, you need to be demonstrating why treating people as ends would be like an obligation. If you don't show that that is an obligation, if it's just some bad thing, then it doesn't matter because we're not morally obligated to pursue it.
Okay,
That's one of the
your response is on
the
Applebaum. What's the response to Applebaum?
There are two. One, that self-defense functions at a higher level because it impacts to the basis of state action, whereas Applebaum talks about like externalities and bad things that might happen from state action. And second, this doesn't apply to state actors overall because of the reasons I gave as to why act and omission is going to be the same thing.
Okay, explain to me acts and omissions. What are you
Two
talking
reasons.
about there?
A, the state is always going to have domain over third parties, whether it's acting or inacting. Because a state's decision not to pursue a particular action directly impacts its citizens, because it's like the proxy for those citizens, which means that act and omission is going to be irrelevant in the context of state action. And Hanser says that insofar as both killing and letting die involve the direct exercise of agency to perform the certain action, they're irrelevant under a moral evaluation, whether or not there are some like physical differences.
If I turn the NZ, I'm sorry for asking this again. If I turn the NZ,
I already gave you the two ways that you can beat it.
I know
Those
you
are
did.
sufficient to beat it and wing around.
okay.
That is my favorite round at this. Guys are so angry, it's awesome.
What's the Hanser card saying?
That both killing and letting die involve a direct exercise of agency by the offending party. Is the Hanser card up there? Let me open it up for you.
So you're saying there is no distinction,
Yeah.
right? Okay, and then why does that somehow take out the AC framework?
Because it's saying that if there are conflicting rights violations in act and omission, then we weigh the rights violations. We don't just label the action that causes rights violations to be the bad.
defending targeted sanctions?
I'm not linking out of comprehensive sanctions.
Why?
I'm just not. Like, I'm not going to link out of your harms, so you can wait on your time.
Then what's the point in running theory? Like, why do I...
So I can gain access.
How were you denied access?
The Davidson evidence explicitly excludes things like arms embargoes
Like,
and
why
things
are you
that don't
making
affect the whole economy.
Why are you making extrapolations like that off of this, like, definition?
That's what Davidson says.
That's not the Davidson I have. She has several definitions.
Colin,
I read
the
like 6 definitions.
I read the article. You got the card from me.
No, I didn't. Okay, whatever.
I cut this card. No, I cut this card. I read the article. Apparently not, asshole. It was the best. I'm so glad that they subbed me in for this. Awesome.
Explain to me one more time. Why don't I get access to my maxim? Why is it under your maxim? I want that clarified in a minute.
I can do it in
20 seconds.
10 seconds.
Go.
There's no reason why treating people as ends is an obligation right now. If you show it's an obligation under universalizability, then it's an obligation. Right now, it's just
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
Money.
In the bank.
I wasn't really paying attention to that.
Okay. I don't even think it's much. Alright, 20 seconds left. We're gonna be going NC framework about like self-defense. Yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing.